Alright, welcome to the stream. Let me crank this down a little bit here. Okay, so last time we were working on the combat. We actually got a lot of progress done, and I'm very happy with how all of that has turned out. However, I've been thinking about it a bit more, and I want to go ahead and start focusing on some story elements. So we are officially on week 5, which is crazy because I feel like we've done a lot and it's only been like a month. That's pretty crazy. Okay, so we have a lot of combat stuff that we need to add to the game at some point. It's important. We have some other things that we need to do. And then we have story elements, though, that are going to be far more important. So, in my mind, that might be worth having a look at. I still have a little bit of a cold, so kind of sniffling a little bit. Let me show you what Twine looks like real quick. So this is a software that I've been using to develop the story, and granted, most of the story is on this like piece of paper that I have, or like notebook of like stuff that I have, but Twine is this storyboarding element that allows you to basically hyperlink all of the like pages in your story together based on choices, and so you can also test it, which then opens up a web page, and it looks like this. And this basically just has all of your like possible choices that you could make at every given opportunity. And so I might put this like here, you know, just so that we have a little bit of context going on. Anyway, so let's say that like you're walking around, at the very end of the first chapter you end up getting to a scenario where there's this man and he's fighting a boy and he's attacking him, and you have the choice of doing something about it. And so you can either walk right by them, you try to attack him and you die, or you kill him. And let's say that you ignore them and you just walk by. Then you go through this city, and it's this kind of like high-class society, but it's all abandoned, and there's not really anyone in there. And if they are, they're very like clueless, and like they're not sure what's going on because there's no one around. And anyway, you're gonna explore that area, and then when you do, you find a character. His name is Harrison, and you can talk to him or not. And so honestly, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make that society first. And so I want to go around and start drawing some of that, but just to take you down like the rabbit hole of like, so let's say that you invite him. After this, you head out through the sewers to escape, and in the sewers there's going to be a lot of monsters and stuff, and so then that's a whole scenario, and that's like chapter 2 basically. And you go down there, you meet some other characters. One of them, his name's Joe. Let's say that Joe ends up dying while you're down there, but you try to free him and he doesn't make it, and so it's just you and Harrison at this point. So then you have these choices. You can go to all of these different places, and let's say that you go to the kingdom first, then you meet some characters, and you can go to all these different places, and you just go, all of these are like shorthand for locations that you can go to. And if you go to one location, like sometimes you can't go to another one, so then let's say you go to the hospital. Oh, right now I don't have anything for that, but you go to this place, you go to this thing called the Market District, and then you have right off the bat 3 different endings just from these choices here. But if we hop into like looking at the entire story, like that's how many choices there are in the game, and I'm not even done with this yet. There's so much more that I have to put in, and I like some of these, like, you know, this one, I haven't finished this branch yet, so it needs to still like split off. There's choices that you can make that are going to connect like these branches all the way together. Like this is connected to, or this one, oh wait, where is it? Oh, it's this one. These are all connected, but you can also then go like this direction with things. And then everything right here, like all of these are endings, and they're unique because you have different characters with you. There's different locations the game can end at. There's different scenarios that can happen. You can save certain people. You like don't. Like some people die. Like some people get killed. And like so, there's so many different endings, and it's like I feel like these are like real endings and not just like, oh, you drank the glass of milk or you didn't, and now the painting in your room is red. I don't know, something like that. These are real endings, and they all got some meat to them. Okay, anyway, so I got more to do on that, but for now, we are going to hop into our game and kind of start analyzing what we need to draw exactly. So on this paper right here, I've been kind of scripting out a little bit of like the scene for chapter 1, and again, depending on what you do, if you save the boy, if you die, or if you ignore them, you can go to 3 different areas. And so right now we're just picking one of them, which is where you ignore them. And if you ignore them, you go to High Society, and that'll be chapter 1. But technically they're all chapter 1. They're just different types of chapter 1, basically. So, all right. My plan is to start kind of drafting out like the outlines like we did for chapter 0 here. Obviously these aren't finished. I want everything to look more like this in the end. This is going to be like an outdoor like courtyard, so I need to add like some textures to everything. I want these to be hedges for a little like hedge maze here, and this is going to be an interior. So there's more things that I need to add, and then right here is where the man is going to be fighting. And so, oh, and then you'll have a pipe here that you pick up, and that'll be the first weapon of the game, is a pipe. And then you head out through here, and then when you go out, goes into chapter 1. So I was messing with the dialogue box though, and I enjoy how cool it is to click on things and have this little animation pop up. I love it, and so I want to really start utilizing that a lot more, and creating more interactables that you can click on and learn more about the story. I think that's like the most important part about this game, and so to focus on that would be a good idea. So if we hop over to our scenes, the other thing that I was thinking about was I kind of had things split up by chapters. So, you know, I have chapter 0, I'm going to have chapter 1, 2, and 3 and all that. I was actually thinking the best way to kind of divide up what scenes you go to is I have a map that I've drawn. Okay, it's here. Yeah. Okay, and this has like all of the different locations that you can go to in the game. I think based on what I've been drawing with the Twine program, it is best to divide everything up by location that you go to and who you are with currently. Because, for instance, there's a place called the Kingdom that you can go to alone, or you have people with you. And depending on who you have with you, it changes the story. But you can go to things like kind of out of order. And so chapter 2 won't always be the kingdom, for instance. Sometimes chapter 2 is going to be like you go to the sewers after high society instead of the kingdom. So now the sewers is chapter 2, but then after the sewers you can go back to the kingdom. Well, technically that's chapter 3 now, because you've gone high society, sewers, and then kingdom. But on other playthroughs you can go directly to the kingdom, so that becomes chapter 2. So I can't call my level chapter 0 and chapter 1. I'm gonna have to call it like this one will be high society. So I am going to kind of mess with all of these different like names real quick, just to get everything kind of organized here. So the menu, there's no reason for it to be called 0 menu other than the fact I want it to pop up at the beginning just for me to keep track of. Arena is fine. So I'm going to categorize everything like this. 0 will be menu type scenes. So if I have a settings menu, credits, any sort of meta menus, it'll be categorized as 0. And then everything else will be a 1. And then we'll do the intro and like all of these other scenes. So I will call this intro. This one technically is, let's go Market District 2, and then I'll kind of edit that one a little bit more. With this one, cutscene, new game, that's more of like a menu type of item. Lighting test, this is kind of some other things, and it's not important. And technically it's not working as far as I think I can tell. I mean, I just might play with it real quick just to double check. Yeah, it looks like not, which is okay. Background camera, yeah, so that's not working, and that's fine. So let's hop back out into our scenes, and then lighting test, I don't know, we'll just go like 9 for like weird stuff. And then the maze generation. Oh, and this was kind of something crazy I was working on, but it's not important. Yeah, I'm just gonna delete that. There's genuinely no reason for this. I'll run it real quick just to double check. Like, I don't need this though at all. And in fact, it looks like it's not even generating anything, so it doesn't matter. Okay. I was going to try and figure out a way to procedurally generate each level. It's just not worth it though. Not interesting. And then this way, if I'm gonna draw things, it looks so much better. Okay, so we don't need to save this. Go to the intro. Base game is there and it's working, so that's amazing. And we are going to save this as now 1, and we're going to call it High Society. Okay. So in here, technically, a lot of this we'll be able to just get rid of immediately, and I just want to check that this is the case here. We can just delete everything. So we have fog start, fog end. Got some, whoops. It's not letting me zoom around for some reason. There we go. Okay, so yeah, pillars don't matter. Collectibles, Okay, interactable. We can actually, well, we can leave this and go like, fog rolling in. I wonder if I should put these all in a category though and call them like story elements. And then it would be actually kind of cool to have the fog rolling in, like story beat at the beginning of every level, so you can click on it and be like, because constantly it's like the fog's rolling in, fog's rolling in. So that's kind of cool. So if we do this, you'll be able to click right here, and a thick cloud of fog seems to be rolling in. Yeah, that's so cool. All right, we'll leave that in. We do want to add some ellipses here, some ... for ominous factor. Cool. And then let's see. Okay, so these interactables, not important and not important. Okay. And then collectibles, that's just anything else in the game, which I might get rid of. We don't really need that. We don't need this. We have the rolling fog. Okay, so now the background is going to be, yeah, important for us to kind of run through here. And then the level. I'm going to just outright delete the level because it only has either what, lights? Yeah, so we don't need any of this. And then for the background, I'm going to leave it for now as a reference when we start adding some other things in the future. Okay, for scaling and whatnot. So let's start thinking about the actual sizing now of the level and all of the different rooms that you can go into and how that will work. So I have my paper here and I have my drawing tab out, and we are going to just go ahead and I think kind of just throw some of this stuff in here and start drawing. So I'm going to grab this particular file here so that we get our sizing that we need. Yeah, and we don't really need to copy this. I just need to Control-Shift-S, and I'm going to start categorizing everything now by cannot spell. High Society. That is not how you spell either. High Society. There we go. I would get kicked out of High Society because I can't spell. I'm going to start categorizing things by the place, location, instead of chapter. Okay, so for this one, just because I have this one pretty clearly in my head, let's just run with it. So Harrison bar. So you meet Harrison and he's in a bar, of course. And we're not saving this as a ping. We have to do a PDN. Okay, so we're actually saving a file here. And at this point, realistically, we are just kind of deleting a lot of this. Okay, so I don't really need the tiles. Coloring is good. Color shading, also good. This type of shading, awesome. So we need some of that. The tile outline isn't super necessary. We could just put that in the shading. This is just some black background, so we'll have to edit that later. And more outline, and then the full overlay on the top there. Perfect. Okay, so let's get started. For the actual drawing, think using outline will be our best bet. And for the bar scene, let's just kind of imitate some of this. And actually, I'm going to pop this over on this screen here, because that's where my drawing tablet is set up. Okay, so if I do this, yeah, perfect. Okay. We are ready to go. And then, yeah, this is about the thickness that we want, right? Yeah, okay, cool. So actually, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to duplicate this, turn this one way down, and then we'll draw on this layer here. So there's going to be an entrance into the bar. So, and honestly, because the bar isn't going to be that big either, we could do this. Just start over here and go like, because that's a decent reference for like how wide it should be, maybe a little bit wider. It is a bar after all, so. Okay. So this is the entrance. You walk in here. In terms of how wide it's gonna be, honestly, probably fairly cramped. It shouldn't be too crazy. This will be where Harrison is at, somewhere here. And we're gonna kind of have our bar table like this. Come out, and then we have our kind of bar back area. And I think what makes the most sense is to have like the bar shelf back here, and then on either side we'll have the ability for doorways over here. So then you can walk in these doors, and then kind of trying to keep it narrow. I'm gonna put a wall right here. And then I want this to be kind of the same size on this side as well, another door. And again, it's one of those things where, like, in a sense, I want to add a lot of choice elements to this game, even for things that don't matter. So for instance, like, you can go in this door or that door. That doesn't change the story, but it does still just kind of like continue to give the feeling of all of your choices have effects. And then what's really cool is just based on the way that I draw, like, you'll notice that this kind of is crooked. That is so part of the aesthetic. Like, this is what makes it a hand-drawn, handcrafted game, is it's not perfect. It's not drawn perfectly. It is hand-drawn, and it's got all those imperfect elements, which is really cool. Okay, so bartender area kind of like over here, and I'm actually going to probably just close this area off so that you can't get into there at all. Although I guess it would make sense for there to be a trapdoor right here or something that the bartender can walk through. Okay. And then in here is going to be like, you know, shelves and whatnot. Cool. And then Harrison is here. So we're just gonna acknowledge that. And then you can go through these doors here. So at some point we'll have to add some sort of future room out here, and I'm not sure totally what that looks like, but I know what this looks like for now, so we can work on this. So there's going to be tables in this bar that are just kind of hanging out. And actually what I'm going to do is copy this and move one over here. Just like this. Just so they're relatively the same shape, and then I will redraw over it so it's unique. Okay, and then we'll do another one here. Cool. So table, table. And then this technically, there's some sort of door situation going on here, although I'm not totally sure how to do that. You know what? Here's my idea. I'm actually going to make it closed off. Because in order to get into this room, you have to go through a door, and when you click on it, there will be like a scene transition. And when it transitions, you'll be inside of this room. Which is cool. Okay. So then, yes, you're given the choice. When you walk in, he's here, Harrison is waiting, and you can totally either just walk right by and just leave, or you click on him and you start interacting with him. And then as a result of that, pretty much no matter what you do, you end up engaging with him, and then he will have to join your party. So the only way to avoid that, like, you can't kick him out, you just can't talk to him at all. Okay. Yeah, so then this will be just its own set of doors that are kind of hanging out right here. And I almost never in this game draw anything perspective based. I am going to just a little bit right here draw some perspective, just because I want to emphasize that these are closed doors that you can't go back through. And I think that gets the job done really well. So we'll do something like that. Yeah, that's super cool. Okay, and then I'll kind of make this fade out, because although that perspective should technically run through the whole wall, I'm not going to do that. Just do something like this. Okay, that's perfect. Well, at this point, let's get rid of this layer. So now we just have this as the bar scene. Yeah, so you'll walk in, there will be tables here, and then you can go out through this area into the next room, which, hi, welcome. I'm making different scenes right now for the game. I think we're going to start working on some of the story, and making all of that work. So not totally sure what's going to be over in like this area at all. I don't know how this would work. I don't even know where you go after this technically. I might look at like a layout of like an actual, like, I don't know, warehouse or something to get inspiration for like the floor plan. Or like Because basically I want, oh, this is weirdly, like, why are there such detailed bar, like, layouts? This is crazy. Look at some of these things. These are fascinating. Okay. Huh. Yeah, this is super interesting. Well, yeah, I do want something that's technically like a kitchen area. So maybe, honestly, this isn't like a bad place to start. Do this, you know, and our bar scene is a little bit more like this, and then we're basically looking for something almost identical to this. So we'll probably connect this and this together. And most of this will be probably pretty empty, but yeah, we could totally run with this. This is weirdly useful. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, so I think over here there's no reason to have any bathrooms or anything. So what we'll do instead is I'll put an office right there because that's interesting. And maybe at some point you can open that, or maybe you can open that and there's lore inside of there or something. That would be fascinating. So I might leave that open so you can walk into there. I do at some point think that I should add doors to the game. So if you click on it, like, it opens up a door or something. That'd be kind of fun. And this is really like where the game is going to start to come to life, is with all of like the interactive elements. So I really need to focus on that. It's going to be cool. Okay, so you come over here. Let's say that when you walk into this area, this whole area should be open, more or less. And maybe it comes out like this right here, and then this is kind of like a big area that you walk into, and then I guess what you need at this point is so I've set up a system so that if you've gotten Harrison to be a part of your party, you have to go to the sewers as your escape. Otherwise, if you don't do that, you have a couple. Either you have different options, or I feel like there has to be something that happens that makes it like impossible for you to go somewhere else. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to do about that yet. So let's say that there's some sort of like exit right here though that you end up going through, and it's like, okay, so we'll cut off the office like right here, and then this will be another opening, and then we'll come out here, and just this whole area is going to be like I don't know, just random interactables and stuff. Okay, so we can get rid of that. Yeah, that's nice. Just something like this, and then, you know, this will be some wall right here, and then we'll just do that. Okay, cool. And then you'll leave through here. So I'll make a little passageway, and then that is that scene right there. So let's cement in this a little bit more. And I think for now, yeah, we'll just save this and we'll start moving on to the other stuff. Because all that we need at this point is just like several scenes like this, and we kind of string them all together, and that's basically the game. So it's not super complicated, which is cool because that means it's doable and I can actually finish this game, because that's the goal, right? Okay. So the other important scene, which I might just duplicate this, and so we're gonna go, let's go bar entrance alley. And so what happens here is, and here's my plan for it real quick. I think this will be easy. We'll just use the same door, and we'll put it out here, and then we'll clear off all this. Okay. Clear that up. So according to my pictures, we have this alleyway right here, which is the actual bar entrance. And so this is, you'll come to this, and this is all the way at the end of an alley. And then you'll go through these doors, and then when you click on them, it transitions you into the bar scene. And so this here, I don't want it to be super narrow, but still some sort of alley, and it's a dead end. And of course this comes from somewhere, so we got to figure out what's over here. But you know, this has got like some like dumpster at the end or something. Don't totally know how to draw a dumpster. I don't really know what style of dumpster this is even, but whatever. It's got a lid on it or something, I think. Okay, and then like a trash can or something. Okay, so we'll just leave that for now, and this is your little alleyway, and I think we're gonna put the bar doors up on a little bit of like a ledge here, and so you'll walk up into it like this. Add some steps out here. Okay, so that's cool. Yeah, and that's pretty much all that I have for this. So what comes out here, though, I'm not totally sure. Maybe there can be kind of like a street that dead ends into here, and so you're kind of walking around. Yeah, I'm gonna make this like asymmetrical. You know what? I have an idea. Let's go UK streets. Let's do something like this. Okay. So we're looking for weird like alleyways and just weird architecture. Better than that, let's do like Scotland. And like specifically, we're looking for places where it's not totally like a through street, because usually when you get like super downtown, and maybe we can like literally just like go to Google Maps real quick and try this out. Okay, so for instance, go here, go satellite view. Yeah. Okay, and then literally looking for like weird little alleys where it's like stuff like this, you know. Um, and where's like the city area? So you actually get into town. Right about, is it here? Yeah. Okay, so for instance, like see like this place right here. Like all of these areas, there's like shops and stuff. And so this is like a downtown market area. But it's very like strange. It's like these streets like come together and they get closer, and it's not your traditional like grid. I'm trying to find specifically where. Okay, so I went here, so this is why I know this. And I'm trying to figure out where like the supermarkets were and stuff, because it was such a strange town, because all of the supermarkets are like embedded with like all of the houses and stuff. Yeah, okay, so I would take this road, it would come out here, you'd end up walking down, maybe it was through here, and then you'd come through this street. But there was like a specific supermarket that's just like right here. Oh yeah, exactly. Okay, so this is the market, and then this is Market Street and stuff, and all of these are like cobblestone brick walkways. This is what I want. All of the city stuff in Fog to look like in high society. And then specifically, like, there are all of these weird, like, alleyways and stuff that go through here. Like, this is a walking alleyway. And then, like, this one goes through here. It goes, like, underneath this house and, like, through things. There's all sorts of crazy stuff. It's awesome. But I think if I were to like pick one of these areas to kind of imitate, I want something that specifically ends in like a dead end. Okay, and so what was interesting was like this street right here, it turns into a walkway at the end of this street, so you can drive here, but you have to go down onto Union, and then through here though it continues, but it's a walkway instead. People still drive on it though. I think something like this is actually perfect. So I don't know if I should just copy this or if I just need to use it as like a reference. So I think for like this, let me take a screenshot real quick. Let's do something like this, and I'll pop this into here, and okay, so like basically this part of the alley we want to be this right here. And so if we have some sort of kind of like just offshoot area like this, and then a big market where it kind of opens up and then comes into this like weird like Harry Potter looking kind of street line here, I think that would be perfect. So this part of the street remains pretty stable. This side widens and then it just gets a little bit wider. Okay, so let's try something like that. So this actually, we'll kind of have to adjust things a little bit. So this part will actually remain pretty stable. It might widen a little bit just because the street does get a little bit bigger. And then this part will widen up, and I might even have like the hint of a walkway in this direction, but you won't be able to go that way because well, you have to keep moving to the right because the fog's coming. So okay, so I've pulled up the image on this side so I can kind of imitate it, and then we'll go kind of out in this area like this. And then maybe this will be like a doorway actually into like a towering hotel or something. So that's why you can't necessarily go up it. To which adding a perspective door right here would make sense. So it's interesting. I feel like strategically, I want to strategically use perspective when it's very important for conveying like information that's difficult to telegraph otherwise. Because like a top-down door looks like this, you know, maybe like this. That's very weird, and that's not how people see doors. And so if I draw something like this instead and have a little like doorway and all this stuff, like you'll be able to understand that it's a door a little bit more easily, although it's not like super simple. Okay, so add some extra little perspective lines on everything just to really give it the perspective-ness there. Yeah, and the reason, like, I don't want to abuse perspective too much because the game is constantly shifting, and so like technically the perspective needs to be changing from like here to here over time, and I just can't draw that. I'm just drawing like a single picture, and so I can't really convey that super well. Okay, so let's look at that picture again. So the other stuff that we have going on is there's a little bit of like a sidewalk, which I remember. It was like a big sidewalk on one side and like basically nothing on the other side. So I could do that too, because then it turns into the alleyway. So maybe we'll do something like, which I guess that should go in the shading. I'll do something like this, a little bit of a sidewalk, walkway type of thing. And then this is like really, really narrow right here. Yeah, it's very cool. I love that UK aesthetic for architecture and cities and stuff. It's super cool. There's a Nando's. What's a Nando's? What does that mean? Are you seeing it on here? Nando's. What is that? South African Portuguese flame grilled. Huh. Is it good? Yeah, I've never had that before. That's funny. Well, I walked right by it all the time. That's so funny. Yeah, well, maybe. You might be able to eat it still. We could, I'm sure, if you just get non-gluten stuff, you know. That's funny. That's super funny. Okay, so that's probably too much perspective right there. You know? This is difficult. Okay, so let me focus on the sidewalk thing that I was doing first. And we'll do this. And then... Yeah, I know. Yeah, the gluten stuff is hard to It's hard to find fun restaurants. I'm sure that you could though if you just got like non-gluten type of foods and stuff. Getting a phone call from a random number, I don't know. It's concerning. Okay, so I'll add some stair steps up to this place. Actually, I want them to be a bit more curved. I kind of want to lean into like the surrealism aspect with all of this architecture, because like it can definitely be very out there. And so kind of emphasizing it is kind of fun. Okay, so that's like that's good enough. That's an alleyway. And that's our thing. And for now, we're just going to roll with this. And we'll keep going. So then we'll go bar entrance alley. I might call this number 2, and we'll call this number 1. And what I'm going to do is... Can I grab both of these? Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's just do that. Okay. And I'm going to shift them over to the side right here. And then I'm going to continue drawing everything. Okay, so looking at the picture again, it does kind of, it keeps coming out until it kind of hits this alleyway, which I don't know how many alleys I really want, because technically you shouldn't be able to interact with things too much, just because I don't want the player getting lost down like all these different alleys. I want it to be a pretty straight line, so I might smooth these out and just have it be like a straight line all the way through here. There's a fountain in the middle of the road. Like, this is crazy. It's probably because that used to be like a well or something, and they just turned it into a memorial fountain now. Like, I don't know, just crazy stuff like that. It's like, that's so cool. So it's kind of hard to see what I was drawing before, but I think this side will continue to be kind of flat like this all the way out, and then this side will start to flatten out and go kind of something like that. So now we have this kind of bigger alleyway. And granted that there's actually a lot of like this kind of jutting architecture where buildings just stick out, and so I should add some of that. So like what, for instance? Okay, so right here, I guess, let me open up the other one again. Okay, so for this one, I probably would want this to just stay normal, whatever. And like if there's houses and stuff on here, they're just kind of, I don't know. Maybe this one comes out a little bit here. Which it's cool. It's fun. So I want to try to do as much of that as I can. Yeah, you know, good enough. And then on the other side, there's a little bit of that going on too. So I'll do it on this part. So let's do it here. Let's make this part stick out like this. And so maybe what I can do is kind of delete this here. It's cool. I'm definitely going for so much of that like organic looking just feeling with all of the drawings, and it's really effective. It's coming across well. So I'm happy with that. Okay. That should be good enough. And then out here is where I'm gonna add some kind of like, okay, so let's pop over to like this one. We'll add a little bit of like an alleyway right here, although it won't be anything. It'll just be a little bit of like into this area here. Just to give some life to everything. Yeah, I guess this is worth thinking about is how am I exactly going to convey that these are buildings, for instance, because, you know, with our game as is, all of our edges are black. Like, this is the outside of the wall, and you can't see past the wall, and so it's dark. Like, there's nothing out there. But with these, if I'm going to be introducing perspective or anything remotely like that, maybe what I can end up doing is drawing roofs over everything. I mean, because, like, honestly, this is a satellite image, and it has perspective to it. So maybe I could draw something like that, where it's got a little bit of perspective, but mainly I just focus on like there's roofs, like there's architecture on top, and it's not just like gonna be black. So that's worth thinking about. So I am going to actually totally screenshot this. And I'm going to save this as a reference. Okay, cool. So after that, so for instance, like after we have this little bit of an alleyway here, it comes out, and then we have like this area, which is interesting, where it significantly juts into. So I wonder how long does this take to like travel across is the question, because I might continue this and then do the jutting on the other side of it. I can make this kind of pop out here. So I'll do something like that. And then you know what? Here, let me figure out how to rename this. I think I'm gonna rename this A, and then we're gonna go B, and we're just gonna go backward through everything. It's ABC. So this is a new image now, and we're gonna do the same thing. We just shift it all the way over here, and then we'll continue from here. So this guy is where then we can start introducing this big indent into the image. Yeah, we just want something like that. And then we can pop it back out a little. And then honestly, yeah, I might stop with this because I need to think a little bit more about all of the different elements that are going to have to connect. Because I want this to be at the end of the level. So you've traveled through a lot. You've traveled through several different, I guess, scenes that I'm looking at here. So we have the bar scene, which we got outside the bar. And then I still want, like, you run into, like, a bookstore at one point. There's abandoned streets, which are good, and we're still doing that. So then we have a bookstore. Then we have a hotel, which is basically what you're walking out of. So you have this weird mansion, and it kind of connects to this hotel. The hotel is empty. Then you get outside. Then you get to the streets, and there's this empty bookstore with some lore and stuff in it. Then you keep on going, you find the bar, and then that's like the end of that section. So maybe that's what I should do is incorporate the bookstore somehow. So the bookstore has to be somewhere in here. So let me draw the bottom of this. Okay, and then I'm going to save these as pings and just start throwing it into the map and see how it works. Okay, so we're gonna go ping. Save this one as well. And we'll save this one too. Okay, cool. Pop over here. And let's do this. I'm gonna leave this for now. And I'm just gonna duplicate this. Whoops. Duplicate this and then replace it with some of these. Okay, so we're gonna start with this. Whoops. Can we do that? Yes. Okay, that's perfect. Then we're gonna throw in this guy, which will connect. Potentially it's closer. Potentially it's like right there. Okay. And then we connect these. Okay, awesome. Fact, believe, should be like right there. Yeah, it's almost spot on. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, cool. So that's what it'll look like. It looks so good in the game. I love this. This is so cool. Okay, another game. Sorry, I just cracked all my knuckles. It's called Machinarium. Or machine. I don't know what it's called. Machinarium. Anyway, this game is incredible, and I loved playing it just for the art. Super hand drawn though. It's so cool, and I'm definitely shooting for some sort of vibe like this with everything. Anyway, it is magnificent. Just a wonderfully drawn game with a lot of really, really amazing art. Super cool. Anyway, okay, so with that kind of aesthetic in mind, shooting for something kind of like that. Okay, so let's just see how this feels real quick, because either this is perfect or it's way too big, and I might have to change things a little bit. So anyway, let's just run through it and see what happens. I forgot to turn off the animator on these, so it's just going to turn it back into this. It's going to be duplicated like 4 times over. That's so funny. Okay. So you'll be walking in the city streets like this, which honestly, this feels incredible. It's like perfectly the right size. That's amazing. Yeah, we could totally add like the shop right here. You walk in, it's this little bookstore. All the while, let's just kind of throw this in here just to play with it. All the while, the fog is rolling through. So, like, you look back and a thick cloud of fog seems to be rolling in. So it's like you can't really hang out for too long over here. Like, you have to start moving. And so, like, yeah, you'll be able to run up and check out, like, this bookstore. So you can kind of click on things. You'll be able to interact with it a bit. And you're like, oh, this is interesting. Kind of reading some things. Kind of soaking in the atmosphere. Looking at stuff. That's interesting. That's interesting. And then the fog is right there. And so then you have to move on. And, like, you can't linger and spend all your time just, like, messing around with all of the interactables and stuff, which is interesting. So that's also why, like, I think it's important to have the game be very, like, long, is because you don't get a lot of time to just hang out and mess around. It very quickly creeps up on you, and so you have to move through quickly. Okay, and then right here, this honestly feels claustrophobic. This is so cool. So all of this starts constricting, and you're like, oh, I gotta go through here, and then you end up at the door. Which, I'll be honest, it's a little bit smaller than I intended. I think it could be a little bit bigger. I think this pathway being this narrow is fine. I think the door needs to be wider, though. It's a little bit, like, too small. Okay, that's pretty good, though. That's awesome. So let's do that real quick. I'm just gonna literally, like, how come this isn't working? Just open up the PDNs for me. There we go. Okay, so this part here needs to be a little bit bigger, something like that. Which then makes me wonder, do I want to space that out anymore? Well, okay, let's save this real quick. And what is it anyway? Why is it saved as 2? That's so weird. Must have the old file open. Okay, I'm gonna trust that that's fine for now, and I'm just gonna start drawing on some of these. Okay, so for this one, we have the shading that has to come out, so we're just gonna start drawing our so we have our narrow sidewalk, and then this bigger sidewalk out here. I'm going to copy this and try throwing it onto here, see what happens. Yeah, that might not work. I might have to merge that down, and then we can put this here. And then that just has to go right there. which is pretty much perfect. Okay, cool. And then we just delete that and delete that. Cool. So then I'll bring this out a lot more. So I think this will be the bookstore. Like, I think we'll put the bookstore right there. And yeah, and we'll just call it good. So then I just have to come back through and add that later. But for now, that is looking good. So, on top of this, let's actually think now about why does it not take me back to the PDN? It should take me back to the PDN file. I wonder why it's not doing that. Oh, that's strange. Okay, so it doesn't take me back to the original file that I had. It's so confusing. And let's jump back into here and double check that that's what we wanted. And see if that's big enough. I feel like that's pretty decent. So let me show you what I'm doing. We'll do this here. So you won't be able to dash during this part of the game because you're not in combat mode. Okay, yeah, so he should be as wide as one door. This feels perfect. Yeah, this feels perfect. So you'll click on this, it'll transition to the next part of the game. Yeah, that's good. And then you'll be able to walk up to this, and yeah. Okay, so that works. I like that. That means that this door is... Ooh, what happened? This is the correct sizing. So if I pop over to here and put this guy on here, then we got the right door going on here too. So that's our bookstore, and then that'll take you into the bookstore. Okay. So other stuff that I should focus on. Well, technically, this means that we have our bookstore. Because if it's going to be right here, then I think that literally all that we need to do is empty bookstore. It was just the abandoned streets, and we're basically doing that as well. So I think we could start doing like hotel stuff. So I guess in my mind, I had this image of like you walk through a bunch of hotel rooms. At one point, you get to this lobby, and there's this guy in there, and he's like, yeah, I've been waiting. Like, my friend said that, like, he'd be back, and it's been days, and he hasn't come back, and he's just still there, like, waiting. And he's just alone in the lobby. And then you keep walking, and you keep going through, like, some hotel rooms and stuff. And then I also want you to run into this huge banquet hall. And it's just completely empty. And it's full of food everywhere. But all of the food's like rotten and old, like it's been sitting forever. But I don't know where that should happen. Because I almost feel like I might want that to happen if you don't see Harrison. Because I really feel like I want it so that if you get Harrison, you go to the sewers for some reason. Oh, that's what I was going to have happen. totally remember this. I think you fall through the ground at one point. And there's a bunch of like bricks or something and like cobblestone that you walk over, and it like falls open because you have Harrison with you, and then you fall into the sewers. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So that'll be easy, and then if you continue on, then I think I'm gonna add the banquet hall after that. And then you get the choice of whether to continue to the kingdom, to Black Barns, or it might just be those two. But okay, so banquet hall actually, I'm gonna move that into somewhere else, and we're gonna go Harrison, cobblestone, trapdoor, fall. Then we do banquet hall, and then we do. So then, yeah, if you fall through the trapdoor, that will move you on to chapter 2, like immediately, and you'll be into chapter 2 at that point. Otherwise. So I kind of need to figure out a way to lengthen things a little bit and make it like take a little bit more time to get through. Which I guess is where, fighting mechanics come in and stuff. Maybe there can be a few enemies on like the abandoned streets, and we'll do something like that. Okay. So, banquet hall, and then we need, so that comes after, and then we'll go choice of where to go. Kingdom, Black Barns. Okay. So let's do the hotel lobby first. And actually, let's do that right after we do. So this will all tie in together, actually. So we'll do alley D. And for this, I'm gonna move this here. And now, this area will be the main kind of streets area that you come out into initially, which I do want a well to be at, so I need to remember that. And I'm going to open this up one more time just to make sure, like, do I want the well here, or like in one of these places? Maybe as soon as you come out, that would be interesting. Okay. So you come out here. Let's look at this more. What do we got going on? Okay, so we could kind of bring in the street a little bit on this side here. So we'll kind of curve it into here. This can be the start of like the weird sidewalk on this side. And then actually, that'd be a good opportunity to turn this into the street right here. Okay, so we have the street starting right here, and then this comes out. And let me add just some more like architecture things going on. So we'll do something like this. This. And then let's have the hotel entrance pretty much be like right here. So you come out here. There probably will be some sort of enemy, or maybe like an enemy right there or something that comes out in this area. And then this feels good. This feels like a sufficiently long, lengthy level. Yeah, I think this is good. So if I were to attach all of these together, what was I saying there? Now we have 4 images. Okay, and then let's see how that looks. So if we hop over here, we can pull these guys out, and we grab this and change it to D, which basically connects like right there. Right? Okay, and that's cool. That's super cool. I've got to make sure that this image also gets saved as a PNG. Oh, it looks like the other one also needs it too. B. Yeah, it does. Okay, let me do that real quick. Do B, C doesn't work, and then perfect. Okay, so now the street lines up all the way through. We have the bookstore there that you can go into. Come over here, end up with the alley with the bar. Street lines up all the way through. We have the sidewalk, this little sidewalk here, and then this will be where the hotel room is. Okay, that's awesome. That's feeling like a real level now. That's cool. Okay. Yeah. So I think what we'll do is we grab this. And let's start kind of working through this guy as well. So this is where the hotel will come out. And this will be like the main entrance to the hotel. So this will come out here. We'll have some, like, I don't know what the entrance should be. Let's go look at hotel entrances. Hotel entrance. This is great. This is so, like, classic. Yeah, I love this. This is great. Let's do something like this. So, I'm gonna put this like here. Is that gonna work? Okay, cool. Yeah, it's close enough. I'll do this. So, probably need to extend this out then if we're gonna do that. Just so I have some room for like the little umbrella awning and stuff. Okay, so that means that our awning is gonna be like here, and then we'll stretch out into like this kind of area. This has kind of some interesting shapes to it. It's very interesting. Yeah, this is pretty iconic. I feel like people will recognize exactly what this is supposed to be if they see this. Yeah, that's cool. That's so cool. Okay, and so that'll sit above the player. And then, yeah, we'll add these little guys out here. These little benches. Cool. Yeah, I might just roll with that for now. That is good. Move it out a little bit more. Okay, cool. And that is our little hotel entrance. Yeah, and then from here, yeah, it doesn't really matter. So on the ground, there's gonna be some sort of like kind of brick cobblestone pattern, something like that, you know. Yeah, I love this style of drawing. You don't draw every single detail, you just draw like the signature aspects of like brick. And so you're not drawing brick, you're drawing the effect of brick. So you don't have to draw every single like literal brick on there, but if you draw enough of these kind of like cobblestone patterns, it looks like brick. And so this looks like it has the effect of brick, which is super interesting to me. Okay, so that's good. Let's roll with that. And there we go. Let's do that. Okay, so this now should, this should no longer be Alley D. I need to fix that. I messed up. This should be hotel entrance. So I need to go back and undo everything. Hopefully I can. Okay, perfect. Awesome. So we made it. So this is Alley D. So we'll replace that. Okay, so I have everything fixed, and then this, we can go back to our hotel entrance. Okay, so in our hotel entrance, inside the actual hotel, which actually, real quick, let me make sure that this is like a good sizing. It might need to be bigger. So if I do this, let's just say, how does it look on here? So copy that, give it a hotel entrance, which comes over to here. Okay. And then let's see how big that entrance appears, because I don't want it to be like weird. Okay. That's good. That's good, because it could be like a single door entrance, you know. Okay, so then you walk out here. All of this is that, again, cobblestone effect, which I should just duplicate across here to make the effect consistent. Yeah, so then, and you'll walk through here and stuff. Got a bookstore up here, you can walk through there. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the fog is rolling in. Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, awesome. Okay, well, so we are actually making substantial progress through here. Like, all of these images are huge steps to creating the level. And then from here we're just progressing through things. So I think I'm gonna take a break for right now. This feels like a lot of good progress. This is awesome. There are only so many maps that we have to make, and so like if we do all of this, like we'll be significantly through our game progress here. So that's cool. Let me just mark everything down real quick. Okay, so we have done all of this. We are looking to do the empty hotel lobby, and then the hotel hallways, which are going to be cool. And that directly connects to chapter 0. So that first entrance, if you get the kid, I guess I do need to implement one more little thing, because if you get the kid, then you have to go into somewhere else as well. So I need to figure out how that works. Because there might be like an elevator that you go on, and if you're with the kid, it goes down. If you're by yourself, it goes up. I just don't know where to put that right now. So I have to think about that. So let me write that down. Let's go. Hotel, elevator, spider den, flash, outside. So either it goes there or it goes outside. Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, so that is all that I have planned for right now. I will see you next time, and we will work more on getting all of the levels put together. And I think we're making major headway on this, so this is really cool. Yeah, I'm gonna set up a Steam page soon so that people can wish list, which will be really cool, and we'll get this game on the road. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time, and yeah, stay safe out there.